This is gonna be a creepypasta, reading. As I promised later down the line. This one's called Do I Have Something For You? This was posted 11 days ago, so if you go on the Creepypasta site, you can see it. But anyway, right to it. What are you doing right now? Not 5 minutes ago. Not 5 seconds ago. Right now. What are you doing right now? Let me take a shot in the dark here. Are you just slumped over on your unmade bed, endlessly scrolling through the endless internet? You haven't moved in the past few hours, have you? Jesus, man. It's 3 in the morning and you're sitting here still scrolling down the page by page. When you're still scrolling down page by page. But what exactly are you searching for? Is there something you really want? Like really, really want? And no, not playing cards, not a wig, not like on Amazon. Is there something that you would kill for? Something that you would sprint through salt-laced glass for? Well, this is your lucky day, and I'm sure that's a first in a while for you. Lucky for you, you can get it. However, it may take some it may take some effort. There are some requirements that not too many fully meet. But you surely will with your pathetic life, your crappy flat, your broken cigar box that you willed with these worthless poker chips, your pile of piles next to your unloaded dishwasher. You are perfect. God damn. Need some water. Hold on a second. Throat gets a little dry. Anyway, back to it. Now, to start, what do you want? It should not be something that you just would like, but something you really want. Something, it should almost be impossible for you to go on without it. Good? You have something in mind? Because now you have something you have something to look to for support. Do you not want to fail? Secondly, you need a car. You will need a car. Do you have one? No. How do you not own a car? Oh, you sold it? Oh well. That may be a problem. You'll figure it out. Also, don't even try to use your rusty old bike. What is going to happen is not something that you can do on a bike. First things first. Get ready to go. Got your shoes tied? Jacket zip? Good? It's time to leave. Get out of your apartment. Lock it. Why do you say that? It's not like you have anything in there. I'm almost tired of your questions. Come on, okay. Get out of your flat, slowly walk down the hallway. Take each step with caution as not to make any attention Don't even step on the pile of cigarettes that always seem to grow every time you pass it. And no, don't pick up that wad of money. Or that snatched pair of glasses. Make sure... Wait, why would you want to pick up snatched pair of glasses? But anyway, make sure as you leave, everything stays the same. Everything. Oh, my mouth is really dry. Almost there? Are you doing great? Moving down greasily while slowly stepping over the empty wrappers on the ground and creeping around the mystery splotches. All of this without a sound. Okay, now you're outside. So far so good. Luckily, you shouldn't have to go far. You've probably passed this place hundreds of times, and yet have never truly seen it. Step outside into the brisk air. Step into the air almost cold enough to where you could shatter a lock with a hammer. A lock with a hammer. Remember, you need to get a vehicle, though don't use any Hermangas. Sorry, sometimes my reading is shit. Car, don't use something that will stand out. The cover of night may be something that will help keep you safe. You don't want to do this, but deep down you know the truth. You really want to. Think deep down. Think about the flame in your soul. That spark keeping you going, but kept you alive during finals. That flicker of light that keeps dimming by these payments. When you are done, you'll have a lifetime of gasoline to turn a match into a bonfire. Back to what was being said before, and yes, you can choose that sleek black Mercedes over there, but don't expect it to come back in that same condition. Yeah, yes, that one over there looks perfect. That sexy beat up decade-old Prius is just sitting there, and it looks like the owner's inside right now. It looks like the owner's inside right now. Wait. The engine's running. Run. Door keys. Yes, this is perfect. Floor it. Well, guess you have a car now. Have tank too. And you look at that. Keys in the ignition. That should work very well. Man, my... Now on to the true mission. You need to find the road. No, it doesn't have a name. No, not on Google Maps. Technically, it isn't even a real road. So, it will appear if you are looking at the right time. And what you will only see, and you will only see it if you know what you are looking for. The last rule, you have to do this alone. But that surely won't be an issue for you. The time to go is whenever you think the roads will have the fewest drivers. 4 a.m. would be perfect. Remember, those woods on the west side of town path forgotten, oak cloaked. It's the road that attracts nothing and no one. That will be your best bet. It will be a long stretch of woods, and it will look the same as every other road. Though trust me, this road will stand out. Nothing will be different, but that flame inside of you will flutter, if for only a second. It will lurch you forward, so start driving, and soon your flame will be driving you. But while you wait, let's start thinking about what exactly you've been what you've been wanting so bad. Don't even deny it. You wouldn't have stolen a car if you weren't chasing something important. This is really important to understand for certain. You won't get too much farther unless you know exactly what to do. So for example, if you are desiring something monetary, like a pouch of diamonds, you will see something different from someone wanting to love. If it's diamonds you're after, under the coverage of foliage, the moon will shine through like the glistering reflection of diamonds. Or the moon will be clear with a thick golden swirling hue by it instead of the normal clouds. Though, if it's love you're after, rose petals will make their way down from above you, even though the oak trees are currently by you. The farther you go down the road, the more pink will flutter past your peripherals. Once again, shit reading. There you go. But anyway, back to it. But that's not what you want. No. That's not what you want. You're after something you can't hold, aren't you? You want to be stable. You want that job agency to call you back. You want to muster up the courage to talk to that girl that you think may be eyeing you. What you wanted a happier life. Oh God, some of the way these people just write this doesn't make sense. Here you are. Once you are completely sure you understand what you truly desire, take a deep breath and turn onto it. You have a few seconds to turn around, but it seems you're already making your way down the road. At this section of your travels, you have officially begun down the unnamed road that you will be following for the rest of the next 11 miles. Each one just one step closer to what you want. Though you've simplified what you wanted, so now you are just asking to get rid of your problems. Yeah, that's serious. That sounds great. Getting everything you want down to a phrase, but back to the venture. Each mile will truly test how much you really want this. Before you go any further, stop and hear these rules. Do not turn on a radio during the drive. This also means no iPod or MP3 either. Do not try to use any type of phone during the drive. Don't argue it's for Google Maps either. It's a straight road. Never open any windows in the car. I don't know why you put windows twice. Make sure the top is covered and the windows start shut. What starts shut? Let's get on it. If not, I apologize in advance. Do not ever leave your car. You mustn't exceed 30 miles per hour. If you top over by even 1 mile per hour, the road will lead you straight back to where you started and you can't redo. And last but not least, on a seatbelt, this isn't the rule of the road. It's just common sense. Don't be stupid. At this point, your heart is racing more than it ever has before. Calm down. Slow your heart rate. Take a deep breath. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Good? Okay, slowly press on the gas. Feel your body lurch forward with the vehicle because now it is your suit of armor and there's no turning back now. In the beginning, everything will look normal if you are on the right track. The tall oaks blocking your peripherals. Sorry for the shit, reading again. And when you look up, the sight of the sky is breathtaking. The clear abyss of space seemingly just floating above you. Not a cloud in sight, not a star in the sky. Not even the moon visible in the deserted sky. The air is frigid right now, isn't it? It's still the first mile. Turn up your heater and keep those windows shut. You can't take my eyes off the road. Soon. You can't take my eyes off the road soon. So, for now, look around. It's surreal. But now is the time of no return. You have just passed the 1 mile mark. Now on to round 2. Keep your mindset because the next hour or so will push you to your limits or will kill you. This is the 2nd mile, and most people tell you to put the heater on max, but you've already done that, so you've already done so, haven't you? The temperature is the main reason this car was so much better than that bike you insisted on taking before. The temperature will continue to drop so you don't get your hopes up if it starts getting too cold. Speed up? Yes, the temperature can cause frostbite. Also, you are now approaching your first turn. Keep in mind, with every mile you take, the more treacherous the journey. The more turns you will take, the more potholes you will go over. The more rocks will hit the windows. Keep this in mind if you want to keep this car perfect. If your scratches from rocks and annoying bumps won't hurt you too bad, but if this car stops moving for any reason, you won't escape. You will die. From there on out, your life is now in the hands of this car. Shit. Good. You are doing pretty well. Once you pass this upcoming turn, the third mile will begin. This mile is very, very easy as long as you keep your gaze forward and stay in the center of the road. You surely notice, but the road itself has changed. The road from pavement to more cobble throughout this mile, it will slowly deteriorate into a dirt path. The material of the road is not the only change. You are not crazy. Those silhouettes of what seem to be human figures are actually behind the trees walking in the forest. They are truly there. Make sure not to gaze upon them. You will know what they are soon. But for now, keep yourself as unnoticeable as possible. Remember, a distant object may be unnerving, but it isn't damaging to the car, so do not worry. Also, another thing that was left out of the rules is something that you probably will not need to attempt, but should be mentioned. Never attempt to leave. Do not drive back. Do not veer into the forest. If you attempt to do so, the road will never end, if you try to leave now, you will be left in a never-ending loop, forced to face the harsh reality of an emptying fuel tank, as well as the cooling heater. The frost on your windshield will eventually grow, and if you turn around, the chilling air will, without a doubt, overcome you. Look at yourself, so determined, so cold. Terrified? You have clearly began the fourth mile now. Those distant figures have noticed you, haven't they? Undoubtedly, they are trying to say something, not to you, but in you. That faint mutter in the back of your head is then completely unintelligible, but seemingly purposeful. Mutters of what seems to be a man speaking a language lost millennia ago. This speech cannot be drowned out by anything but sheer willpower. Focus on what you want. Remember that clear sky. Why was it like that? The tranquility of being able to rid your problems is the idea that will help you deafen this constant distraction. As you can tell, the muttering is still distant, so if it won't get any better, at least try to keep it as far back as you can. You've noticed something particular, haven't you? The small mutter has always slowly gone away. So has the infinitely thick wall of oak. Don't get your hopes up. They will all come back. Now merely a few spread out trees, and the long strands of thick, wind-blown covering the path on the other side of the road. That is not enough. There is a lake to your right, but remember, you have to stay on track. Yeah, don't look at the lake. The peaceful lake, it's so silent, there's two movement on it at all. It's so surreal, but you mustn't look at it. Keep your eyes on the road. Through the still waters you're reflecting the moon above you. Through the still waters are reflecting the moon above you. So, it's so largeable, so bright, the moon is humanus, or something like that. Through the pupils, it seems to be too far right to try to get a good look without turning your head. You want to, don't you? You really, really want even the slightest of sight. Even the slightest sight. But if you're cold now, it wouldn't be recommended to steal a glance. Keep your eyes look down the road. If you try to take a sneak peek of the road, the road will abruptly end, and you'll accidentally drive off, plunging into the frozen grasp of the waters. No matter how badly you would want to look back, that moon above the lake will be a landslide. Will be by a landslide. Be the most beautiful thing you have ever seen. There would be no looking back. Well, once you look at that, you're nearly halfway there. Remember that. This is when most people start to lose hope. The trees have come back. And that empty sky that once gave you peace now just seems empty. With the only source of light being your car's lights. The sky seems void of any emotion. If you keep hope, you will be able to, your will be able to endeavor this mild struggle. Your lights will flicker every once in a while, but that's exactly what should be happening. Keep hope, look straight, try to stay warm. And you are in great shape for what's going to start. Oh no, the stereo is going to prove to be difficult. It looks that the real owner had amped up the subwoofers, and the speakers. During this model, the radio will turn on. The noise produced will be screeching, making you wince in pain for some time. Only a minute or two into this, a calm voice will start. If you are lucky, the noises from the stereo has completely deafened you. Blocking you from this voice's hoarse. The feminine voice is so soothing, drawing you in to it, but what she says is terrifying. It speaks in a way that makes you live. She speaks in a way that causes one to live their greatest fears, dangers that no one even realized. They feared. No one even realized that they feared. Fears are terrifying. Fears too terrifying to even comprehend, much less explain. Try your best to stay in a straight line. What she says will cause it dangerous to navigate properly. So go slow. Even if your primal self wants to floor it and escape the tortures, if you veer off, you will freeze and perish in the vein of your mission. Endure the torture and make your way through this slowly. If you go too quickly, the noise can quickly make your steering a bit too sharp on the twists and turns of this mile. Mile 7, also known as a hellhole, coated in bubble wrap, nothing in this mile can hurt you physically. If you can survive this mental pain and keep your eyes laser guided down the declining path, watch out for speeding up too much, as the constant decline of this mile can make the frozen tires of any vehicle a bit difficult to manage, especially because those silhouettes are back, remember, from before, as they were a distant mutter. Well, you won't be that lucky this time. As soon as you pass the mile 6 milestone, their souls all took notice and noticed that word choice. Yeah, those silhouettes are the souls of those who embarked upon this journey, only to have their temperature sniff out their spark. Souls on this mile have made it their mission to drag you down with them, and in the beginning of their past mutters will start back up. But as every moment passes, the volume of mutters increase, and mutters stop being dialect, but screams. The hidden souls that were also behind the trees are now approaching. The sides of your newly stolen car, not close enough to get a good look at their face, but you do not have what to see that. What the fuck? Ear-bleeding, glass-breaking screeches. You will hear them as they try to get your attention. Do not look. Even a sight will paralyze you. Letting your car stray off the the side of the bending road. Luckily, if you ignore the noises that may seem like they are coming from the passenger seat, they will get bored and leave you alone. Don't turn your head at all. This mile in particular. Mile 8. Good for you, mate. Sorry that was bad. But back on track. This mile stops and the decline starts through the inclines too. Now is when you should try to really look forward. Not as much as for the life and death of your dead passenger, but more for the fact that the ridiculously sharp turns here are just difficult to navigate. Take this one slow and keep your eyes open. If you shut them for too long, the coldness and the mile will genuinely freeze them. Any form of liquid that could be in the vehicle would freeze within mere seconds. When you got this mile, also these souls from the last mile are gone. But this batch is not going to be as easygoing. At this point, my lungs are killing me. If you want me to leave off where I was, let me know, and I've had troubles with my lungs, so I'm still working on that. But anyway, if you want me to finish it off, let me know in the comments below. And I will have a link to the creepypasta in the description as well, just in case you want to read it for yourself. But this is Hellraiser 988, and I'm out.